Hello and welcome. I'm Brian Haney, Vice President of Customer Success with Deltek, and today we're here to talk about a critically important issue for project-based businesses, and that is human capital. So I'm joined today by Dan Carusi, Vice President of the Talent and Learning Practice at Deltek University, here to talk specifically about talent development. Dan, welcome.
Thank you, Brian.
So let's start with some things best practices that you've thought of that project-based businesses should be doing differently when they look at talent development.
Sure. So when you look at project-based organizations, they're very agile and flexible. So when you look at learning and best practices on how they should be developing talent, you have to take a similar approach, be very agile and flexible. So moving away from a formal program into more of a continuous learning, self-directed learning type approach really opens up that ability to learn faster and quicker and have more effective learning and development.
So why create that culture of continuous learning? Are there key issues behind what drives businesses to want to do that?
Yeah, so the skills are changing so quickly, technology is changing so quickly, so you have to be able to accelerate the learning process, and having a more informal continuous learning approach allows that to happen. It also better empowers employees to own their development and growth, and at the same time creates more innovation and creativity across the organization.
So let's talk about learning plans, formal or informal, a company's investment in that. So what are the results that you want to get out of the investment in a learning plan?
Yeah, so the learning plans are critical for a couple reasons. One is you move into self-directed learning, continuous learning, it takes away the formal structure around development, which is good, but at the same time, it can be all talk and that can be dangerous. So if you put a formal learning plan in place, still has that little element of structure, some more accountability to make sure we're executing on it. It allows management to see that there is development taking place and learning taking place. So the end result is going to be more accelerated learning, getting the knowledge that people need to be successful, and then ultimately more productivity on the projects and on the work.
So we're in a rapidly changing market. We're also in a very familial market. So it's a tight-knit community. Folks move around quite a bit. Does that cause any issues with leadership development and succession planning, and how is that more important in this particular environment than maybe it was in the past?
Well, it does, especially in today's environment. There is much more turnover and transition in and out of leadership roles. But then you look at the current situation with baby boomers leaving the workforce, and over the next 5 years they're going to be rapidly moving out of corporations, not necessarily out of the workforce, more into consulting roles, but they're going to be vacating leadership positions. So it's critical to have the right succession plan in place to be able to fill the gaps immediately. Without leadership, then you run the risk on impacting the project leadership and the overall success in business with your customers.
Great. So when we talk about talent development, you really think of it more as a people process. But obviously there's a technology play there as well. Can you talk about how technology plays into that development process?
Well, absolutely. Unfortunately for today, for learning and development professionals, technology is our friend. You can really leverage technology to help drive successful programs. You can use it for learning management systems, performance management reviews, or looking at workforce and gap skill development. That can be done through the technology, accelerated onboarding approach through the right platforms. And more importantly, lately, social learning is done through a technology platform, social collaboration platform, that really, again, helps drive the development across an organization.
Well, Dan, thanks for being with us today. Appreciate the insights.
Thank you.